Welcome, family, to our monthly virtual conference. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbee. I'm glad to have everybody tuning in. I need you all to do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe button, and share this video podcast on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and any other social media sites that you are on. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This video podcast is available in 3 forms: audio, video, and as a written text in order for us to reach our audience. I encourage all of my listeners to scroll down to the comment section below this video podcast and click on my Medium transcript in order to follow along with this presentation. If you are serious about doing business with me, then please send me your email address to my Facebook inbox, and I will email you everything that I do online. We host our virtual conference every last Saturday of the month until we are able to raise the funds for our film project, quote, Hood Liberator, Made in Chicago, The War Against Willie Lynch Begins. This is a solution-based docudrama based on my experience growing up in the inner cities of Chicago. It's also based on my revised book and the purpose why I created the grassroots community activist movement. This is our Black Panther moment, except it's not owned by Disney, it's owned by GRCAM members. We use crowdfunding on our GoFundMe page and also on our PayPal page so that everybody knows exactly where the money is going. So I recommend that, you would check those 2 sites, I would say, every 2 weeks to see the progress. The donations will help with our marketing campaign, production, and legal expenses to make this docudrama. We're asking that you donate what you can. We aim to raise $250,000. If you are a U.S. citizen, then you can donate through our PayPal giving fund. You can use that as a tax write-off because this is a legitimate 501c3 nonprofit, faith-based, and community advocacy organization. Let's keep it a buck. For 32 years, Black America, specifically Black Chicagoans, have rejected and overlooked my vision and plan to help improve the African American community. Since January of this year, 2024, I have been hosting weekly video podcasts and given everyone on my Facebook friends list an opportunity to come on this platform to promote their business, African business, small ministries, and yet out of 2,000 people that's on my Facebook friends list, only 1 person has donated to our film project so far. Ladies and gentlemen, this is unacceptable. I named this platform Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast, not for entertainment, but for a call to action. We can't sugarcoat genocide. If you're not interested in our cause, then delete me off your friends list and do not come to no events with my name on it, and that's real. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from buying my revised book, buying items from my virtual store, or donating to my film project. That's a personal choice. Now, at this stage in the game, Black America has 2 choices: either embrace annihilation or embrace survival. Those of you who have taken me for a joke will not be part of my Christian business because this is membership based. I'm asking everyone on my Facebook friends list and all other social media sites that I am on that you're listening to. Please do me a favor, purchase my revised book, quote, The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, second edition. Either my ebook for $9.99 or the paperback for $15 plus shipping and handling. And read my story for yourself. You can find my book on my Amazon author page. I provide the link in the comment section below this video podcast. If you agree with my vision and plan to help improve Black America, then make arrangements with me to come on this platform, get on camera, and let's talk about it and encourage others to support my work and get behind this film project. I encourage African immigrants within the United States of America from 10 African nations: South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, Angola, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria, to please purchase my revised book and read my story for yourself. If you agree with what I'm trying to do to help improve Black America, then I ask that you donate what you can to the film project, and also make arrangements with me to come on this platform so we can talk about it and get others involved. Work with me to build GRCAM of Chicago. That is the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. The sooner we get this film project popping and the proceeds from the film starts pouring in, then that will put me in a better position financially so that I can purchase property in Chicago, buy office equipment, hire qualified Black middle-class professionals and African immigrants within the United States of America so that we can build GRCAM of Chicago. GRCAM of Chicago will serve both the African American community and the African immigrant community for credibility. Then I will be in the better position to turn the business over and bring the business to the African continent, starting in South Africa. The purpose of me doing all of these video podcasts is to gather like-minded Black Americans and like-minded African immigrants in America to work with me to turn my vision and plan into a reality by building the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago for Black families, and also to let the Black world know who we are and what we're trying to do before we expand to Africa. We will bring the best of the diaspora to each African nation so that we can set up local chapters and do international trade among our brothers and sisters on the continent, especially the ones that's going to be GRCAM members. We will reconnect Black entrepreneurs with African entrepreneurs, Black artists with African artists. In this Christian business, our objective is to heal from enslavement and colonization. GRCAM would take the lead in solving Black issues within the United States of America, as well as throughout the diaspora. Lord knows I would like to do more than just news and social commentaries. But at this point, I'm working on a shoestring budget. All I have, all of my funds go towards rent, food, and bills. Without financial support from the Black grassroots and the global African family, then I am unable to do my God-given assignment, and that is to build the best African American business within the United States of America. This is a Nehemiah assignment. I do not operate like the next Black man. I have my own style and way of doing things. You don't have to like me, but you will respect me. The sooner we get this film project fully funded and made, the sooner we can move GRCAM to the next level. And that is making our presence known in the African American community as well as in the African immigrant community. I encourage Black millennials and Generation Z to get behind this film project and help me get this revised book on the bestsellers list, so that way the Black world can take us serious. After all, this Christian business is my gift to you and your family. I encourage all of my international friends in my African group, GRCAM of Africa, even if you're unable to participate in these events, please watch the replay. Leave a public comment about it on my YouTube page and share it with all of your friends on all social media sites that you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. I encourage all of my Christian friends in my Christian groups, Light of the World Inspirational Group and Christian Spoken Word Network. Even if you're unable to participate in this event, please watch the replay, leave a public comment about it on my YouTube page, and share it with all of your friends on social media sites that you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. I encourage all of my supporters in my secular groups, GRCAM of Chicago and GRCAM of Africa, as well as New Black Voices of Media, etc. Even if you are unable to participate in this event, please watch the replay, leave a public comment about it on my YouTube page, and share this video podcast with all of your friends on all social media sites that you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. The title of this presentation, quote, GRCAM Virtual Conference, Saturday, August 31st, 2024, theme, Waging War Against a 400-Year Mentality, Willie Lynch. Before I go into this presentation, I want to give a special shout out to people that's interested in being on my panel. Coach Erica Patmore, Missionary Johnny Brooks, Evangelist Dorothy Jackson Riley, Apostle Wilson and Dana, Pastor Ike D. King, Chief Apostle Zelda Gardner, Evangelist Vera Orries, and Prophetess Connie. After I finish my presentation, then I would turn the show over to my panel, and once they're done speaking, then we will open up the phone lines through Facebook Messenger. I will drop the link to the StreamYard studio, and you can come on this podcast. And if you don't want to get on camera, that's fine. But for those of you that want to participate in this interaction and leave say your 2 cents, you're going to have to let me see you on camera first, because I want to make sure that we weed out trolls. We ain't having that. So I have to see you on camera, and then after that, if you want to come on the show, you can hide your, cover up your camera and things like that, and just speak if you don't want to be on camera. But I have to see you first before I let you on. Today, we're going to cover a lot of material from the ANC convention, the UK riots, and how all of this ties in with the main topic of discussion, waging war against a 400-year mentality, Willie Lynch. The DNC ain't talking about any policies, nothing. They're putting on a lot of performances. People are asking questions about her policies. I found a video clip on YouTube from CNN critiquing the Democratic National Convention. To listen to the full video, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comments section below this video podcast. Click on the link and scroll down to show and prove. The panel is 100% correct. All of the issues that's happening in this country are on the Democrats' watch. They have been running this country for 12 out of 16 years. Family, Black America is in trouble. They want us to trust them to fix the mess that they created with the economy and immigration. If their policies work so well, then we wouldn't have record inflation, high gas prices, and high food prices under the Democrats. So we're supposed to trust Kamala Harris to fix an issue her administration created. The way that the Biden-Harris administration is going, they will end up crashing the stock market. I do not like to see politicians who don't have a business background. The Democrats have been incentivizing more immigrants to come over here, creating more inflation. Under the Trump administration, we were making money and had economic prosperity. What are you celebrating? Because I don't see anything to celebrate. The Democrats put on a show for 4 days, and I don't understand why anyone would be celebrating. Remember, the Democrats have been in power for the past 12 years. Surely the country should have been better off under the Democrats. The DNC decided to bring out the Central Park 5 to take down Trump, but what they're not telling you is that it was Linda Fairstein, a Democrat prosecutor, who was responsible for locking up those young brothers who were falsely accused. I found an article on Fox entitled, quote, "A Changing America Finally Demand That the Central Park 5 Prosecutors Face Consequences," unquote. To read the full article, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link and scroll down to show and prove. The Democrats are sitting up here talking about Trump taking out an ad calling for the death penalty of the Central Park 5. Yes, he was wrong for doing that, but again, it was the Democrats that threw these young brothers under the bus. Specifically, Linda Fairstein. Not only is she a Democrat, she's also a major Democrat donor. They're all complacent in doing this. During the crack epidemic in the mid-'80s, the Democrats started demonizing black men in order to gain votes from white America by getting tough on black criminals. Remember, Hillary Clinton used the term super predator during her speeches, which was a code word talking about black males, and that gave rise to the 94 crime bill. All stemmed from the Democrats and the liberal media. This is why we have to know American history, ladies and gentlemen. I found a video clip entitled, quote, "Ann Coulter on Campaign 2024, unquote." To watch the full video, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. In a nutshell, Ann Coulter is correct that all of the marching and protesting during the civil rights era was done to benefit black Americans. But what is happening now is that the Democrats are using our struggle for groups of people coming into America who did not experience what our ancestors have gone through. American slavery, Jim Crow, systematic racism, all these other groups that are coming over here. The Democrat Party is giving away all the resources that our ancestors fought and died for to everybody else except us. Then these same groups have the nerve to look down on Black Americans and say we're lazy. Some African immigrants from Nigeria, Ghana, and Afro-Caribbeans are also being disrespectful towards Black Americans. Now we have to deal with a few African immigrants and Afro-Caribbeans that are in the pockets of the white supremacist financial elites to try to undermine our progress. Brother Tariq Nasheed calls them tethers because some of them look down on Black Americans. They call us akatas. So he started the delineation movement known as FBA, Foundational Black Americans, to separate ourselves from these other groups, from Africa and the Caribbean. We are a unique lineage because it was our ancestors who built the United States of America. America is on the hook for lineage-based reparations to descendants of American slaves because the so-called founding fathers owned slaves. One of the mistakes we made as Black Americans was to allow all melanated people to join up. We quickly forgot how the Black Panthers were sabotaged from the inside by other Black Americans. This stems back to when our ancestors were on those plantations. Again, this Willie Lynch mentality played a role in preventing many of the slave uprising because we had a few slaves that would inform the slave owner about those who were planning to escape from enslavement. Let's keep it a buck. We have to deal with the enemy within our own group. I am not interested in diaspora wars. We need to be clear about who can speak for our interests and to represent our lineage. Many Black Americans began waking up after Obama. He displayed his benign and neglect policies against Black Americans because he was not from our lineage. Kamala Harris is not a descendant of American slaves as well. I found an article from the LA Times entitled, quote, "The honeymoon is over. Harris must start making the case for her presidency," unquote. To read the full article, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link and scroll down to show and prove. The mainstream media is saying Kamala Harris needs to explain her policies. Harris is waiting for Trump to open his mouth and say something dumb that will cause him to lose the election. Harris versus Trump is having their first debate on September 10th on ABC. Trump is on TV answering questions like him or hate him, but he's on TV answering questions about his policies. On the other hand, Kamala Harris is dodging the media. Kamala Harris had an entire convention and still she doesn't have anything to offer Black America or the American people. I told you all this before. The Democrats' plan is to get her to be Obama 2.0. That was their goal. Barack Obama understood that he needed to talk like us. No teleprompter. You need to be able to talk like us. I lost respect for that man for two reasons. One is because he did not lift the sanctions off of Zimbabwe. Western nations such as the European Union and the United States of America put sanctions on former President Robert Mugabe because he ended white minority rule and he redistributed the land back to its rightful owners, which were Native Africans. The white supremacist financial elites decided to make Zimbabwe an example to other African nations like South Africa to maintain the status quo, meaning to keep things the way they are. The former colonizers in South Africa own 80% of the land, and they still control the economy through the private sector. Whoever controls the economy controls the land. Another issue I had with Obama is he was against lineage-based reparations for descendants of American slaves, but he gave reparations to American Jews. Now, their situation did not happen here. It happened in Germany. According to Cleveland Jewish News, quote, or entitled, quote, Obama administration earmarks $12 million for Holocaust survivors, unquote. To read the full article, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link and scroll down to show and prove. I found a video clip of Obama saying, quote, it's not fair to make Latinos and Asian communities pay Black Americans reparations, unquote. Again, you can find that on my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. If this is not a double standard, then what is? Kamala Harris will be asked questions that the liberal media can't shield her from. That's why they're hiding her. What is under our control is for us to become well organized, making sure that GRCAM members do not become financially destituted, and for us to practice being on code. Again, I said that all of the principles in my revised book is the code for GRCAM members. That's why I'm trying to encourage y'all to read my story. But again, God give us free will, so it is what it is. But I'm going to keep doing my best to keep hammering and stumping hard to try to connect with other like-minded Black Americans and like-minded African immigrants so we can get this thing popping and get the ball rolling. Because I don't want to be doing this another 32 years. Keep in mind, Jewish people are a minority whenever they are, but they understand the value of making sure that they're not impoverished, that they're codified. They make sure the values remain the same for the state of Israel. And that's how we have to be too as Black Americans and as Black people in general. I don't trust any of these career politicians because at the end of the day, they are in the pockets of the white supremacist financial elites. The further that you go into politics, the closer you would come in contact with corporations. That's how politics works. When I was in college, political science was my major before I switched to sociology and social work. I chose not to pursue a career in politics once I found out about all the dirt that comes with being a politician. I wouldn't be able to help my people because this system is rigged against Black people. For example, Black Americans' voting rights have to be renewed every 25 years. Notice, only Black Americans. Creating our own super PAC is economically intelligent. Putting our money behind a political candidate whom we select from the Black grassroots to represent us at the local level is wise. But in America, we face certain barriers that are in place to keep us in our place. And that's at the bottom because of the white supremacist financial elites. This is their system that they created. As a collective, we have the money to purchase property. For example, In Los Angeles, California, there's a place called the Black Mall. Black Americans had the money to buy the property, but the realtor decided not to sell to Black Americans because they knew what we're going to do with the property. Free our people, provide jobs, have economic influence, and rebuild the African American community. The white supremacist financial elites don't want that because they benefit off of us being oppressed and disorganized. They sold it to the Jewish community. Their system is not meant to help us. That's why it's so important that like-minded Black Americans and like-minded African immigrants who are GRCAM members to first help me get my revised book on that bestsellers list. And again, donate what you can to this film project. So that way the Black world will take us serious. I provide the links in the comment section below this video podcast for both, for my GoFundMe page as well as my PayPal page, my virtual store, and of course my revised book. I believe that a lot of millionaires and billionaires refuse to share power and wealth with Black Americans. If Black Americans are serious about surviving in this country, then we have to heal first from this Willie Lynch mentality and start building our own Black businesses, growing our own food, and most of all, build an alliance with African immigrants here in America, so that way we can do international trade when we replicate the business on the African continent. We have to be mindful and intelligent about politics. The white supremacist financial elite's agenda is to flood the zone with illegal immigrants, depopulate the population of Black Americans in large urban cities, and push for GMO foods, which is not going to benefit us. We got to heal from this slave mentality within ourselves that was passed down 400 years ago by the white supremacist financial elites. Black Americans want to be approved by white America. That's the main problem. And again, like I say over here, we want to separate ourselves from these off-code Negroes. We want to make sure we separate ourselves from con artists, hardened criminals, pedophiles, and again, yes, urban terrorists. Black Boule, Democrat Shields. So that's what we have to do. When I speak about separation, it's from our people within Black society. Our people are suffering from Stockholm syndrome. We can exchange goods and services, but at the end of the day, we need our own communities and neighborhoods. That's fine and dandy, and like I say in the book, and like what I've been trying to explain to my members, that every Black American is not going to be able to just up and leave the United States due to finances. This is why I'm trying to build this business here in America, specifically in Chicago. But Black Americans look at me all dumbfounded, saying, it's just ridiculous. And yes, I am losing patience. It's just irritable. It's not cool. It's a turnoff. But somebody has to do it. But like I say, once we get this thing up and running, I want to just go ahead and turn the business over and bring it to the African continent and work with Africans that want more out of life. We've been heavily indoctrinated and infected with fear and believing that anything we build in America will be destroyed just like Black Wall Street. In GRCAM, Chicago, we will promote Black businesses across the United States of America where there have been flourishing for decades. We have schools, grocery stores, etc. We have many pockets of neighborhoods that we are flourishing in and doing well. We have a Black middle class community. We have Black upper class communities as well. But some of those people, they want to live in a bubble, so, it is what it is. But we want to connect with the ones that want to work with, the Black masses. We will promote Black economic empowerment in our films and through the business. We have Black Americans who are in cahoots with white supremacy. They become the gatekeepers for white supremacy by denying us access to capital for our business. For example, I went to the Small Business Administration. I'm not going to say the guy's name. He was a Black American. And all the guy was doing was just giving me the runaround. And so I got discouraged because, at that time I was trying to do a for-profit business and I was trying to get investors. And I'm like, okay, fine. He gave me a hard time giving me a runaround. So then I decided to, put that on hold, and now I'm focusing on the nonprofit portion of the business. But unfortunately, I'm being stuck there because I have little to no support. It's just me and Sister Renee. So again, that's why I wrote the book, and that's why I created the virtual store. But again, my book and items on my virtual store is barely selling. So that's how come this film project is my last attempt to try to do something positive for my racial group, which is Black Americans. So that's where we at right now. We have Black men who are desperately or deeply egocentric. They only care about themselves and their maybe immediate family members, not the Black community as a whole. Our enemies see us as one people. We try to get along with white America, and Black Americans have been marching and protesting, begging the descendants of slave owners for the past 60 years for freedom, justice, and equality. Of course, they're not going to give it to us. But, they owe us reparations. So, yeah, we're always going to, over here, we're going to be pushing that. And we could push for that, too, on the African continent. It's not just here. The foundation of America is anti-Black racism before the U.S. Constitution was created. My goal is to establish GRCAM Chicago with the help of GRCAM members, Black Americans, and African immigrants before I turn the business over and expand my Christian business on the African continent. I don't want to die in America, but I'm doing the best that I can to get this business popping. It's not easy, it's frustrating, but it will happen. But I hope that it happens in my lifetime, that's all. For me, the battle is not for America. The battle is for Africa and African people. Black Americans have been the most faithful voting bloc of the Democrat Party for the past 60 years. It's time for the Democrats to give Black Americans economic tangibles in the form of cash payment reparations for descendants of American slaves. Because of all the years that Black Americans have kept the Democrats in office, give us what we need in order to close the wealth gap between Blacks and whites in America. I say no reparations, then no votes. That's at the presidential level. At the local level, just look at the policies and, pick out the best one that, you feel fit. That's all I can say. The Democrats do not prioritize Black Americans. First Lady Michelle Obama said at the DNC, quote, "We cannot afford for anyone to sit on their hands and wait to be called upon. Don't complain if no one from the campaign has specifically reached out to ask for your support. There is simply no time for that kind of foolishness," unquote. The YouTube video clip, go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Scroll down, click on that link, scroll down to show and prove, and then you'll see it. But what I would recommend that you would do is on that YouTube clip, go to 18.10 and you will see exactly, what she was talking about. You could watch, what she was saying. So basically, she is throwing shade at the Black grassroots because we are demanding something for our vote. For me, that's very disrespectful. If you don't have time to address Black Americans' issues, then leave us alone. They make time for all these other groups. The Democrats always had 90% of the Black vote, but now the Black grassroots is waking up. Black America and our voices are getting louder and louder. Every time Black Americans ask for something, that's considered foolishness by the Democrats. And by her being a Black woman, she's set for life because, her and her husband, they are millionaires. So she doesn't care about people like us that's, on Main Street. Black Americans asked Biden for policy, police accountability, and criminal justice reform. What did we get when he won the election? He said, "I don't have time for that right now. We're dealing with COVID-19. It's never time to deal with Black American issues, but they got time for illegal immigrants. They got time for Ukraine and Israel. Voting is a transactional relationship. You want my vote, then meet my expectations." These 2 nights of the DNC, I have not heard about any policies. Even Biden had policies on his website when he was running for president. Notice Kamala Harris is not doing interviews with anybody. She's having prep rallies and concerts. She's not talking about the issues. Michelle Obama is telling us to shut up and vote when we're asking questions. The Biden-Harris administration never prioritized Black America. They're using code words such as minorities and people of color so that these other groups compete for resources against us. Financial institutions are in cahoots with them in order to make sure that they don't benefit from home ownerships and business loans. So I'm just saying they're in cahoots with the white supremacist financial elites to discriminate against Black Americans. If Democrats are so much better than Republicans, then why haven't the Democrats fixed this issue? Why don't the Democrats audit the banks and credit unions? The Navy Federal got exposed for discrimination against Black Americans. The lawsuit had proved that Black people had high credit scores and made more money, were getting denied loans, while white people got loans, home loans with less credit and making less money. We're sabotaged economically in the United States of America. Black banks are not helping Black Americans like they should, but the the Asian banks, Latino banks, etc., are helping their people. These Black banks and black credit unions are not doing their job, and that's why many Black people are not doing business with them, because they're not doing their job. When someone says, I'm a Black business owner, then you check their records. They should be lending in business loans. Many Black Americans can't get home loans or business loans, and yet we've got all these Black banks around here. It doesn't make sense. For example, we have the Congressional Black Caucus, one of the biggest caucus in the White House. And what do they do for Black Americans? I got so sick and tired of seeing stuff like that, because we already know that the white supremacist financial elites are going to have those persons in their pockets. The question I have for all these Black Democrats, all of this campaigning, is what's your end game? I can't support Kamala Harris. Those who are voting for her, you're voting against your children's future, against our ancestors' struggle they made in this country, because she told us on the grill she's not going to do something that only benefits Black people. No. But she does something that only benefits Asians, that anti-Asian hate crime bill. She did something that only benefited the LGBT. She did something that only benefited Ukraine and Israel. She stuck to that during the Biden-Harris administration. These Black Boule and Democrat shields are wicked, because they're sitting up here promoting the destruction of Black America. They're being paid to mislead Black people and keep them on the Democrat plantation. If only I could connect with other like-minded Black people like Sister Renee, that would help speed up the process for us to get this film project popping and my revised book on that bestsellers list, so that we can have our capital coming in, so help fund our Christian business, GRCAM of Chicago. We would make ourselves known within the African American community and the African immigrant community. Paper up Black Americans and African immigrants through our for-profit service business sectors, provide home loans and business loans through our credit unions. As Black Americans and African immigrants, we would not need to depend on Wells Fargo or Bank of America and all of those other financial institutions. I get frustrated about all of this disunity within Black America. We have so many Black people in our community that's in cahoots with the white supremacist financial elites. Those main objective is to sabotage Black progress in this country. These illegal immigrants are allowed to come over here, and they are assisted by the Biden-Harris administration, the business community, and the Latino community. The problems are going to be in major cities. Think about it. The migrant crisis in Chicago and New York. The white supremacist financial elites want to depopulate these urban cities where Black people live. They're doing it twofold. One way is to make the cities too expensive for Black Americans. Black Americans have become Americanized and individualistic and develop narcissist behavior. That's oh boy. Just bear with me. I'm having some technical difficulties, so just bear with me.
as I continue my presentation. Alrighty. Hang in there, ladies and gentlemen. Hang in there.
Our ancestors used to work together as community-based people. These other groups that's coming over here, they are on code. They're not doing it all by themselves. They have support from the government. They're getting help from the Latino community. But because of this Willie Lynch mentality within Black society, many Black Americans don't want to work with one another or with like-minded Black Americans like myself. That's just reality. And that's going to be the downfall of Black America. I'm just letting you all know, heads up. It's estimated that 25 million illegal immigrants have crossed the border during the last 4 years of the Biden-Harris administration. We got to join with other like-minded Black Americans and like-minded African immigrants who care about Black youth and the future of Black America. The conscious mindset needs to be changed in this country. We need to talk to one another. We have different ideologies and viewpoints, but for those ideologies are not working, then we need to try something different. On this platform, we are holding our elected officials accountable. These career politicians are working in the best interest of other groups. For example, Fargo gave $125 billion to the Latino community, saying they help them work with Hispanic realtors and help build their economic base while overlooking Black Americans. Black Americans can't find jobs. Black Americans need to stop talking about inclusive and a minority coalition. Inclusion does not move us forward. I have a vision and a plan, but Black Chicagoans have overlooked it. We need to talk about reducing mass incarceration. We need to talk about privatized prisons. These entities are divisive and are breaking up the Black families. The Chinese come into our communities and saw what Black Americans was making, such as t-shirts, necklaces, jewelry. They would copy our markets and do a mass production of Black products, import and export Black products. Now they're the ones dominating Black products in our communities and neighborhoods. They own the gas stations. We've allowed immigrants and chain migration to dominate in our communities. Now we're consumers. We're no longer developers. We don't build anything. The County of Chicago will hold our elected officials accountable as well as ourselves. We will hold bi-monthly town hall meetings with local community residents. The County of Chicago is a community advocacy for both the African American community and the African immigrant community. Our ancestors were looked upon as commodities. The Europeans brought them here as slaves, as people who worked for free, as human capital to do whatever they wanted them to do to make money for them. The white supremacist financial elites. That's how they got their wealth. Black American is failing. Black Americans have been voting Democrat for the past 60 years. When we talk about reparation, these other groups want to be the spokespersons about our business. That's why we say lineage-based reparations. African immigrants and Afro-Caribbeans have to address their former colonizers. Let's say the Caribbeans is, the UK, In Haiti, that would be France. So it's different places, but you could just look it up in your history books because they brag about who they colonized and enslaved. So that's one way how you can find out who you need to hold accountable. We will expand Greater Chicago to Africa and bring the best of the diaspora who will help improve the African economy in exchange for dual citizenship. How are you going to get generational wealth just by working a job? The Democrats want Black Americans to just work a regular 9 to 5 because it helps the unemployment numbers and keep the economy afloat. Working a minimum wage job will help pay your bills. Aren't you tired of working for people who don't respect you? When you create your own Black businesses, then you are tapping into the spirit of our ancestors. They created Black Wall Street. They created their own jobs in order to be self-sufficient. On this platform, we promote Black economic empowerment. We have to start building again. That's all what I'm all about. We have to do better than we did before. Join GRCAM today, a movement rooted in the gospel of truth with facts, social justice, and love, in the spirit of the prophets who have come and gone before us and armed us with love that does justice. Our movement declares an unwavering commitment to social justice as the very heartbeat of our collective pursuit for democracy. Our movement stands as a beacon for hope and action against the historical and ongoing struggles of systematic racism and has tarnished America's soul. An acknowledgement of the deep moral debt owed to the descendants of those who suffered under the brutalities of slavery and Jim Crow. This commitment to reparations seek not only to address the financial injustice, but also to initiate a process of healing and reconciliation, recognizing the profound scars left by centuries of systematic racism. Legislative action for reparations underscores our resolve to see justice through, leveraging every legislative tool at our disposal, like the Civil Liberties Act of 1988, which sought to right the wrongs done to Japanese Americans. We will work tirelessly to obtain reparations and land back provisions into law, affirming our nation's commitment to resettify its past. We could get things done much faster if our legal class would step up at the city level, the county level, and the state level and file lawsuits on behalf of the African American community. The Native American Indians have been given a social economic safety net as a condition of government policies. Once we get recognized by the federal government, then we are entitled to an economic floor, as Dr. King Jr. said during his famous coming to get our check speech, which I have on my Medium transcript below in the comment section below this video podcast. You can find it. He said that the American government, back with the Homestead Act in the 1800s, allowed European immigrants to come over here and help paper them up by giving them resources and land. They obtained all their wealth from slave labor that our ancestors made on those plantations. The Native Americans have been given an economic base. I found a video clip entitled, quote, United Home Homa Nation wins bid for historic school, unquote. This new piece is talking about Native Americans getting reparations for their people. To watch the video clip, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this video podcast. Click on the link and scroll down to show and prove. The Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago would also focus on ending mass incarceration, which speaks to our determination to dismantle the modern day chain of bondage that disproportionately shackles Black people. We will address Black mortality, which endangers Black mothers, by creating our own and owning our own community health care clinics. We would protect the sacred act of bringing life into the world, ensuring that Black women are supported, heard, and valued. We will create our own community review commission for law enforcement. These commissions will serve as a vital mechanism for community oversight, ensuring that those entrusted with public safety honor their duty with respect and dignity towards Black citizens. Land-backed commissions acknowledging the profound injustice inflicted upon Black Americans and the urgent needs to address land theft. This commission will explore pathways to restitution, honoring self-determination for Black Americans, investigate missing Black children and Black adults by using our Black grassroots media to bring attention and resources to locate and find them. We will build an alliance with Black farmers to help bring in fresh fruits and vegetables to desert communities that Black people reside in. We've heard the cries of social justice for many years, but I lack the manpower and the capital. That's why I wrote my story and created my virtual store in order to generate capital. However, like I say, my book is barely selling and items from my virtual store is barely selling. And I refuse to be ignored. This is why I created this platform, because I want the whole Black world to hear me loud and clear. You know, I'm not asking for no handout for myself. I'm asking to connect with Black people that's brave enough and smart enough, as well as African immigrants that's brave enough and smart enough. Make yourself known. Don't wait until I'm dead. The grassroots community activist movement is more than just a new Black movement. It is a moral crusade to confront the sins of this nation, a place for like-minded Black Americans and like-minded African immigrants to heal from enslavement and colonization, and for us to build the best African American business within the United States of America. What is GRCAM, the Grassroots Community Activist Movement? I created GRCAM back in 1991 on a site called Gopher. At that time, it was just a message board and limited just for college students. I wanted to create a new Black movement by networking with other like-minded Black Americans, like-minded African immigrants, like-minded Afro-Brazilians, Afro-Latinos, and like-minded Afro-Caribbeans from around the United States of America. My platform grew larger in 1994 when I joined Netscape Navigator, Lycos, Yahoo, America Online. Then in 1999, I joined Black Planet. 2003, I joined MySpace, and later I joined Facebook and many other social sites that came and gone. My purpose was to promote Black economic empowerment and shed light on what's happening in our inner cities in these Democrat cities. By AIM, uniting the Black church, gospel artists, as well as secular Black artists and African artists, as they seek to connect and inspire their target audience, to equip our members with marketing and social media skills to further their efforts in kingdom building. Using my platform to bring gospel artists and secular artists together while navigating the mass transition to virtual events. Primary focus: music, news, Black economic empowerment, interviews, and economic justice for Black Americans. It's our hope that the Grassroots Community Activists Institute of Chicago will become the best African American business within the United States of America, as well as a world-class institution that will equip Black entrepreneurs and African entrepreneurs using all the principles from my revised book to help create a more business and transform desolated environments into flourishing communities and neighborhoods for the glory of God. We also hope that GRCAM of Chicago will become an international franchise just like McDonald's. GRCAM of Chicago's mission: to help eradicate urban violence in Chicago through art, culture, commerce, spiritual development, and hosting African and Caribbean tours. In addition, we aim to promote economic opportunities in the African American community and the African immigrant community by being an advocate and resource for GRCAM members and students. We will promote our members' business through marketing initiatives, public relation campaigns, and cooperative advertising that reach local, regional, and national and global markets. GRCAM of Chicago will function as a support system that will empower the African American community and the African immigrant community, both socially and economically. We will highlight members' businesses at networking events and in our monthly newsletters. Our tourism component will help drive tourism to Chicago as a voice for advocacy for the African American community and African immigrant community. GRCAM of Chicago will build a strong foundation for our programs and services. We will strengthen our ties to the community at large through educational workshops and seminars and neighborhood and initiatives that benefit everyone. GRCAM membership: once we're able to move from behind the computer and have access to a physical building, then we will offer different membership levels that best suit your needs. Basic membership, bronze, include access to all networking, educational, and annual events. Networking membership, silver. This level will provide a cost-effective way to attend all networking events. It will include 2 tickets to our annual parties. Entrepreneurship, gold platinum. This level will provide access to our headquarters so that you could use our conference rooms for large meetings. Our vision: to help accelerate Black businesses within the African American community and the African immigrant community, and help them to expand globally in order to strengthen their participation in and impact on the economy. GRCAM of Chicago envisions a diverse world where all business owners have an equitable opportunity to compete and succeed in the global market and achieve economic independence. GRCAM of Chicago values acknowledgeable, prepared, and diverse African culture that is result-oriented, supportive, and progressive, innovation, responsive, and relevancy, community advocacy for policy that will benefit the African American community and the African immigrant community. to educate Black Americans and African immigrants about the ins and outs of financial literacy in order for them to start creating generational wealth for their families. We're trying to build GRCAM Chicago, which will be a one-stop shop. We plan on offering associate degrees, vocational training, and life skills in such areas as real estate, business, coaching, blockchain technology, cosmetology, automotive technology, information technology, parenting, stress reduction, healthy eating, coding, electrician, plutonium engineer, landscaping, creating Black empowerment films, oil painting, journalism, and more. We will have an athletic department focusing on a soccer team, a basketball team, and a track and field. GRCAM Chicago will serve both the African American community and the African immigrant community. Our goal is to strengthen the Black family and assist single Black mothers and single Black fathers with basic resources and quality programs and services for their families. GRCAM Chicago will help prioritize our goals such as securing our neighborhoods and protecting our women and children. We will offer stipends for Black youth who will act in our Black empowerment films, music videos, and stage plays, depending on our budget and sponsorship. We will plan to offer a second chance program for former gang members, ex-offenders of nonviolent crimes, and homeless individuals within the community. GRCAM Chicago will be a multi-purpose facility functioning as a nonprofit organization as well as a for-profit service-based business. GRCAM Chicago will operate under 9 separate functions under one roof. Social service component, a spiritual component which will be optional for secular people, political component, an entertainment component, an entrepreneur component, a health and wellness component, a Black grassroots media component, science and technology component, travel and tourism components. Under the for-profit service-based business, that will be known as the Red Zone. We will offer state-of-the-art recreational center, which will have bowling, high rope adventures, captivating game rooms featuring the latest video and amusement, stylish billboards, energetic dance rooms, and quality restaurants, various businesses, on-site child care, and on-site music recording studio for our members and students making documentary films and stage plays. In addition, we will host family-friendly activities, including combination deals, birthday parties, weddings, and corporate parties and events. Under the nonprofit corporation organization, this will be known as the Green Zone. GRCAM Chicago will be governed by an advisory board. GRCAM Chicago will be membership-based and operate for the mutual benefit of our members. Also, any earnings we make will be returned to our members in the forms of floor prices through our quality programs and services. We will assist our members with their utility bills based on our budget and sponsorship. We will offer light groceries through our food pantry and tutoring services for Black youth and their families. We will practice group economics in real time by pooling our resources together in order to create and control our own community healthcare clinics, community grocery store, and community housing. This will be group economics in action. GRCAM Chicago will help benefit Africa as well because we will first form an alliance with African immigrants in America. Each African nation we will visit, we will match Black entrepreneurs with African entrepreneurs, Black artists with African artists, so that we can do international trade with our people and members. We also plan on setting up local chapters in each African nation we visit. Our objective is to unite middle class, working class, and so-called underclass Africans with the diaspora and vice versa. Our objective is to offer quality education, healthcare, grocery store, and housing to our members and students. We will create our own credit union, which would symbolize our economic base for both the African American community and the African immigrant community. We will channel our resources to rejuvenate our infrastructure and make a real impact in our communities and neighborhood with local residents at the heart of what we're doing. We want to promote worker-owned cooperatives. Within our Christian business, we want to embrace democratic decision-making, ensure that our workplace is a place for Black economic empowerment, not exploitation. In the tradition of our great freedom fighters, we stand ready to build an economy and a society that reflects the unyielding dignity of the human spirit. Join us in this righteous cause. Under gun violence, in the profound spirit of love and justice, we confront gun violence with a deep moral urgency and a comprehensive strategy for peace and safety. Our movement understands that the epidemic of gun violence not only takes precious lives, but also casts long shadows of fear and grief across communities. Our objective is rooted in a profound respect for life, a commitment to community well-being, and an unwavering dedication to preventing future tragedies. We believe that there should be a national gun registry database. This holds a registered gun owner accountable. By instituting a comprehensive national registry for civilian-owned firearms, it makes gun owners take a serious responsibility that impacts the safety of all. This registry serves as a crucial tool for law enforcement and as a safeguard to ensure that the firearm do not become an instrument of despair in our communities. Through background checks and screen for potential risk, mandatory safety training that educates on proper handling and storage, and periodical renewal process ensuring ongoing accountability, we can cultivate a culture of gun ownership that prioritizes human life and safety above all. Our approach to gun violence is not one of division, but a deep moral solidarity. It calls upon us to unite, transcend political divides, and implement measures that protect our children, families, and the future. It is a call to honor the sacredness of life through action that reflects our collective responsibility to each other in this struggle to end gun violence. We are reminded of the power of our collective action and the resilience of our communities. Together we can confront this epidemic not with fear, but with courage of our conviction and the strength of our love for one another. Join us in our righteous cause as we work to build a nation where every community can flourish free from the shadow of gun violence. Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast is our Black media, grassroots media component of the grassroots community activist movement. This platform is not for entertainment, but rather as a call to action. We're using our voices to raise awareness about what's happening in Black America and throughout the diaspora. I created this platform for ordinary law-abiding citizens on my social media friends list and from my social groups for people who are emerging artists, ally healthcare professionals, church leaders, Black entrepreneurs, African entrepreneurs, to give them an opportunity to promote their products and services to the global community. This no holds bar talk show focus on promoting Black grassroots advocacy, business, finance, health, and wellness community-based solutions, employment, and Christianity, which speaks to the interests of our listeners. Broadcasting on multiple social networks throughout the United States and around the globe. This show will provide insight on how our collective abilities can be used to create tangible change in our communities. It's my hope that all of my listeners from around the globe would get involved, help get my revised book on that bestsellers list, and donate what you can to the film project so that I can do my assignment, which is to build the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago for credibility before we expand to 10 African nations. Our goal is to let the Black world know our story, who we are, and what we've been trying to do for our people that's trapped in American ghettos. These are not just online groups for me to sell my book, but rather groups for us to build our own network, move from behind the computer, and make our presence known in the African American community and in the African immigrant community so that we can support one another, starting in Chicago. Please leave a public comment about the topic in the comment section below this video podcast and share with your friends on all social media sites you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. I'm going to send a challenge out to everybody that's listening to this video podcast. I need you all to support our film project so that we can move beyond cyberspace and get our story on the big screen to let the whole Black world know who we are and what we're trying to do for our people that's trapped in American ghettos. Quote, Hood Liberator made in Chicago, the war against Willie Lynch begins. You can be a part of this historic docudrama by contributing to our campaign either on our GoFundMe page or on our PayPal page, which will help fund marketing, promotion, clearance, legal, and general expenses. Now we're going to hand over the show to the panelists. After they have said their piece, then I will open up the phone lines through Facebook Messenger. I will drop the link to the StreamYard studio in the Facebook Messenger. Alrighty? Okay, y'all, let's do this. So, phone lines are open right now for my panelists to get on board so we can get this thing popping. And if my panelist doesn't show up, that's fine. I hold it down by myself. Either way, the show must continue. So right now, I'm just waiting on my panelists. And then after that, we're going to open it up for Q&A for everyone that have listened, for you all to give me your 2 cents about this topic and to interact with me in real time.